Hello there, my name is Marcelle, and on behalf of Astromatrix, I am here today to talk to you about the full moon that is going to be happening on the 26th or the 27th of April, depending on where you are in the world. But before I dive into that, there's two things that I'd like to mention. Firstly, if you do enjoy our content, please like and subscribe to our channel so that you can receive your regular content. And then I need to mention that at the end of each reading that I do, I offer a tarot reading on behalf of the collective to get a better sense of what's going to be playing out from a tarot perspective. So stay tuned for that. That's at the end of the reading. All right, so as I mentioned, 26th, 27th of April is when we have a full moon happening in Scorpio, and it's happening at 7 degrees. And of course, when we have the full moon, we have the sun in opposition, and the sun just so happens to be in Taurus, also at 7 degrees. So, the full moon is a period of culmination where things come into fruition. It's like it's reached its culmination, its peak. And often it can be a period of revelation where things are revealed, especially because this full moon is in Scorpio, which brings a depth and intensity to it. Now, Scorpio is a very intense full moon generally. It isn't a fixed sign, and so there's a lot of intense emotions that will be playing out during this period. So that fixed quality of this sign means that it's not just flowing water. It's almost like water coming through a hose pipe that's pressurized. And of course, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, so it's all about secrets, mysteries coming to light, emotional intensities being revealed, but also deep emotional feelings coming to the surface because it is this full moon. Now the Taurus sun, which is in opposition, wants stability and security. However, it is in a conjunction to Uranus. And so that means that the sun is needing to, or at least wanting to, break free, depending on where it is in your chart. So it is really, really useful to get onto the Astromatrix app and see what lies at 7 degrees, what house it's in, and to see if there are any natal planets that are corresponding to those degrees. Any degrees between 5 to 10 of Scorpio or Taurus will be affected. So we have this opposition that's happening, and of course this Uranus in the mix is building an intensity, a pressure to the full moon in Scorpio, and it's this release that is wanting to happen. So what complicates this full moon, what intensifies this full moon, is that it is in a fixed T-square. So that happens when we have the opposition between the sun and the moon, each in a square to what's known as the midpoint. And this midpoint is Saturn. So when we have the midpoint in a T-square, this is the area where the resolution takes place. So we turn to that area to find the resolution that needs to happen. And so because it is in Saturn, this adds a weight, a heaviness to the mix of intensity. Saturn is in Aquarius, and it's all about responsibility, it's about accountability, it's about hard work. It has a lot to do with fear, and it can also relate to relationships or businesses. So, if you become aware of what that Saturn is trying to tell you, and this will be understood by examining which house it's in, what are the themes in relation to the sun and the moon in the square to that Saturn, what are the themes that are playing out there, and what is that Saturn needing from us? And it's really useful that we now have this self-awareness of what it is that's playing out, because then we can do something about it, we can put hard work into it. So for those of us who do put hard work into it, to work with that Saturn, working with responsibility, taking responsibility, accountability, putting in the hard work, working with the fears, working with the themes that keep playing out patterns in our lives, then we will be okay because we're putting in the work. But for those that are immature and are in denial and not wanting to work with it, Saturn will then do the work for you. So for instance, if you're in a relationship that is not working for you, that's not serving you, but you're not willing to walk away from it, the boyfriend will end up leaving you, or the girlfriend will end up leaving you. Or if you're in a job where you're not fulfilled and you're just kind of plodding through it, you will end up getting fired and you'll be stuck with nothing. And that's what happens when we're not taking responsibility for areas in our life that are needing and asking for change. So Saturn is wanting that awareness and that level of responsibility and accountability. So, of course, to add to the mix, we have Pluto stationing for retrograde the next day. Pluto is at 26 degrees. And of course, the full moon in Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So it really, Pluto is the underworld. It's almost as if this full moon has a lot to do with the deep emotions from the cesspit coming through to the surface. And then we have this Pluto going retrograde to really start reviewing what these themes are within our lives that are needing like digging and archiving and bringing to the surface and examining. And then of course Saturn is about the hard work and the responsibility and putting the effort in and the acknowledgement of it. So what complicates this even further, and this is why it is an intense full moon, is that we do have Neptune in a semi-square, which is 45-degree angle. It's an angle of tension to the sun. So this creates, this has the potential to create denial and or confusion or deception. Once again, depending on where Neptune lies in your chart. So it's now that we've discussed everything that is coming up, it is very useful to get a sense of where each of these planets are, to look to see what houses they're lying in order to understand what the story is that is needing to be explored and worked through. So I think that's about it. The aim of all of this is to really start opening us deeper to our shadow and to the areas in our lives where we are stagnant or stuck, and how it is that we can start taking responsibility for our lives in order to become lighter and to move through these areas that are not serving us, that just keep creating the same loops over and over again. And so, this full moon is definitely going to be bringing things to the surface for us to examine. So I've got the tarot cards over here, and I'm going to start shuffling them. And this is a reading on behalf of the collective, and we're exploring what this full moon in Scorpio is about. We're exploring what this full moon in Scorpio is about. And I've got 4 questions that I'm going to be exploring. And so I'm shuffling the cards and then I'll pick. So the first question always is, what is the theme of this reading on behalf of the collective related to the full moon in Scorpio? What is the theme of this reading? All right. We have the 9 of Wands. Okay, I will explain what all of these mean now. So the next question is, what is Scorpio full moon trying to reveal to me? What is Scorpio and full moon in Scorpio wanting me to see? What is full moon in Scorpio wanting me to see? Okay, 6 of Swords. The next question is, what is Taurus? What is the Sun in Taurus, Uranus conjunction wanting to break me free from? What is the Sun in Taurus and Uranus conjunction wanting to break me free from? Okay, so I have got cards falling out here. I think I'm just going to, well, this one is very relevant, so I think I'm going to take that one because it did fall out. Okay. And let's take that one as well, because that is very relevant and it did fall out, and then this one too. Okay, so the next question is, with Saturn, where am I needing to learn responsibility and accountability? With Saturn, where am I needing to learn responsibility and accountability? Okay. And then the last question is, what am I not, where am I not, with the Neptune, where am I not seeing things clearly? Where am I not seeing things clearly? Where am I not seeing things clearly? Okay. All right, so the first of all, the theme is the Nine of Wands. And you know, with this the full moon in Scorpio, this is about bringing to the surface deep unconscious emotional sludge that is needing to be processed and brought to the surface to be examined in order to free ourselves from it. So I really feel that the cards are not light and fluffy. They actually are reflecting this, because the Nine of Wands it's a card of perseverance, but it's also a card of defense. It's almost as if there have been things that have happened in our lives that we've put boundaries up against, and these boundaries are not actually allowing us to to move forward. It keeps us in that loop, having these strong boundaries of protection, which 9 times out of 10 were put in place when we were children as a means of protection. This is how the ego develops. So this is what the theme is about. And so the first card is, what is Scorpio in full moon trying to tell me or teach me or show me? And we've got the Six of Swords, which is very much about moving away from, starting to, needing to move away from emotional sludge and choppy waters and turmoil and drama to calmer waters. And it's the swords has to do with the mind. So it is the mental movement through the emotions to calmer waters. So this full moon is wanting you to start moving in a direction that is healthier and calmer for you, that brings more peace. The second question is, what is Taurus, the Taurus sun conjunct Uranus, wanting me to break free from? And it's interesting because we have the Eight of Swords, okay? We have the Eight of Swords, and then the other cards that fell out was the Three of Swords and the Ace of Wands. So that for me is quite beautiful, and it's talking about so in your chart, it'll become clear what area, what house, the theme of that house is. And so, for instance, we have the Eight of Swords card over here, and it's a woman who's bound and blindfolded and seemingly trapped. But she's not trapped. It's just a matter of perception. So once again, the theme of swords, the mind, surrounding her, leaving her to feel that she's stuck and she's trapped. But that's just a matter of perception. And it's to do with themes from our past that have hurt our heart. So the Sun and Uranus is saying, yes, you got hurt, and now your defense has come up and you're feeling trapped, but it's hurting you more to keep yourself in such a strong defense, because it means that you cannot move into a new something and experience a new something, which is the Ace of Wands, the new beginnings. So it's talking about the need to recognize where it is that you may be stuck because of past pain, and how it is that you're not allowing yourself to evolve and move forward for new beginnings to come through because of it. So that is the Sun in Taurus. And the Sun in Taurus, like I said, wants stability and security. And so this Eight of Swords is talking about the themes of where we hold on to things that feel safe or comfortable, because it protects that old wound from the past that hurt us. But we need to break through that and break free and release some of that control that we hold on to, so that we can experience fresh energy and a new beginning, a new creative beginning, new possibility. So I always talk about, with regards to the mind, it's, if we get locked into a belief system of, you know, this is how it is, this is what's going to happen, then we keep experiencing that loop. But if we can start expanding our awareness, even if we just keep using the mantra, what more is there, what more is there, what more is possible, then we open up our minds a little bit to, you know, what is possible? Who knows what lies around the corner? Who knows what could happen the next day or in a week's time? We have no idea. But when our minds get locked in to fears or beliefs based on past traumas, we cannot, it's hard to get through that. So that's what the Sun Uranus conjunction, because Uranus wants to liberate. The third question is with Saturn, where am I needing to learn responsibility? Okay. And the two cards that fell out was the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. And the Five of Pentacles, so they're both fives. And it's almost, you know, it's not a balanced number. It's like this, at cross purposes, it's this tension. And the Five of Pentacles is a card where you feel like a victim. And then the Five of Wands is a card of conflict, but it's kind of like a group dynamic. It's like this, everybody's at cross purposes with each other. So it's I feel that it's talking about the need to identify where it is that you feel like a victim in your life and how that state of victimhood is creating conflict. And it's almost as if Saturn is wanting us to start recognizing we're not a victim and we don't need to keep perpetuating these places of conflict in our lives. So the next question is, where am I not seeing things clearly? And we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so this has a few meanings. You know, the Knight of Pentacles is very much about slow and steady wins the race. It's not about instant gratification or charging in for things, or you know, maybe there's something better around the corner. It's and that's, you know, that's often relates to illusion. Is we think there's something better, or we dive into things without fully being discerning or seeing things clearly. Or you know, we get attached to pie in the sky ideas, and so yeah, it's asking for some kind of groundedness and discernment, and then once that is clear, really grounding and slow and steady towards the goal, whatever that goal is. So I feel that all of these are working together, and ultimately it's about starting to dissolve the structures that no longer serve us in order to move forward towards calmer waters. And this has a lot to do with recognizing how our minds lock us into belief systems based on old fears, and that we can start challenging our minds once we understand what area of the chart we're working with, to start seeing things differently and to consciously make choices to shift our awareness from a state of victimhood and conflict to resolution and accountability. And then these new beginnings, these new creative beginnings are possible. So it's interesting because this is a full moon, which is very much a water sign, but I've mostly got a lot of swords, and it's about stability actually, and then creativity as well, or the lack thereof. Yeah, so I hope that shed some light on what this full moon may mean for you. And if you enjoy that, again, please like and subscribe to our channel. And please do leave your comments. We'd love to hear what you think, what you feel. Does this resonate with you? Even if you feel like sharing what is coming up for you at the moment, we do appreciate your comments. So thank you so much for your time, and bye for now.